Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to episode 73 of ChanmanV's Pro Corner, where pros come and show us how it's done. I'm your host as always, ChanmanV, and man, got a big day with our friend aTnCloud, who's been on the show before, but I'm happy to have him on. And this time we're going to have him on by himself talking about some Terran strategies, so really excited about that. But before we get started, I kind of wanted to just talk a little bit about, just want to see if you guys have been watching a lot of the StarCraft that's going on. I mean, obviously MLG is going to be this weekend, but today, like the campus party tournament, which wasn't really promoted very much, but there's a lot of really great EU players playing that. So try to check it out, or check it out tomorrow, because today was day 2 and it's already over for today. But lots of great matches, and a lot, a few kind of lesser known folks doing pretty well too. Guys like Vipro. So check those. It's all I always want you guys to check out, guys that are up and coming and trying to get noticed. So definitely check those guys out, and maybe become a fan of theirs. Let's see. Also, one thing I wanted to also mention too is obviously Razer promotes the show, right? But one initiative I really wanted to point out on the show, because I think it's so cool, is they announced yesterday that they're doing an internship. I mean, Razer's offering internships now to pro players, SE2 or just pro gamers. And what does that mean? What does that mean, I guess, as in what kind of internships? The announcement's actually here. Actually, let me kind of cut and paste the announcement real quick. But the internship, just to kind of sum it up really briefly, they're going to be offering like positions in esports, positions in, gosh, I forgot I'm on the chat over there. I'm gonna have to cut and paste it later. But basically, they're gonna be offering things like product marketing, public relations, those type of jobs. More actual business, and more company related jobs that for pro gamers. So that some of these pro gamers, they can't make it, then you can still, I guess, be in the esports industry and make a career out of it. So I think that's a really cool initiative, and I hope other companies too kind of follow suit and offer these kind of things, because there's only so many jobs right now in casting and being an analyst and being a top level gamer, or making or being in the position to make a living playing, being a pro gamer. So just kind of broadening that opportunity for folks, I think, is amazing. So so kudos to Razer for doing that, and obviously love Razer for supporting the show. Okay, so what are we going to do today, guys? What we're going to do is we're going to have aTnCloud, aTnCloud, aTn's alternate, by the way, if you guys didn't know. We're going to have him go through replays, and it's going to be mostly TvZ and TvP today, and he's going to be explaining, just strategy, builds, some mechanics, hopefully, and that type of thing. Cloud's amazing at doing this, so Carlos great. So I'm really happy to have him on here for all you Terrans out there. Let me switch him over now so that we can get started. Don't want to run over too much here. Oh, by the way, I'm debuting a new in-game overlay today, so it's going to be really fun. All right. Hey, Carlo, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Chanman, everything fine? Just finished my streaming session now. I'm ready for some awesome replay analysis.
Yeah, I was watching your stream earlier, man. You got some great viewers. I mean, the stream chat was always so lively, and very nice. A lot of stream chats are not very nice, I have to say. So
yeah, then I should hope I don't get more popular, or yeah,
exactly.
that kind of thing might happen.
Yeah, so hey, what you been up to like recently? I mean, have you been preparing for any tournaments coming up?
Yeah, this is a very important tournament for me. It's EPS final.
Yeah.
And even though it's not big, it's important because my team is German team, and to them this is like key. This is like not as important as an MLG, but it's very close because they really want to have the German champion. So I'm practicing hard for that, and overall for like all the tournaments coming up. So of course DreamHack Valencia,
Yep.
Yeah, anything coming up soon.
So any plans to come over to a US tournament anytime in the future?
Yeah, well, I wanted to come earlier, and my team could send me, but I had trouble with girls for like a long time this year, and that completely fucked me up. So Yeah, but now it's fine. Now it's fine. So
Girlfriends killing esports, man. I'm telling you. It's tough, but okay, yeah, it'd be awesome to see you in the near future. I mean, obviously, a lot of fans in the U.S. would, obviously love to come and take pictures with you, get your autograph, that all that good stuff, right?
yeah, yeah.
But all right, well, why don't we kind of get started with what we're gonna do today? Gonna be going. I mean, it's gonna be great going over some of these replays with you.
Yeah, let's start with my replay against Bly.
Okay, let me find it here. He sent me 6 replays here, guys. So we got plenty to choose from here. Okay, it looks like Cloud Kingdom, huh?
Yeah, these are just recent ladder replays.
Mhm.
And since my playstyle changed a lot after I think this was more appropriate. I had some awesome custom games, but unfortunately I can't share them. So
Right.
I mean, my
No,
practice partners wouldn't be too happy with it.
no problem, no problem. So why don't we go to 2 minutes, and then we'll start from there. We'll start on just fast. We'll go faster through this whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. And let me know when you're there. And,
Okay.
okay, cool. And I'll have, obviously while we're going through this, talk about just kind of what you think of TvZ and what your general kind of philosophy or strategy is when it comes to it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let's start. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so basically this is Bly, and I usually don't beat Bly because after the patch he became so much better, but lately Terran players are finding a way to play TvZ properly, so the chances are getting better again. And the best way to play right now is just to be insanely greedy, and just the most important thing is to scout in time if they have gas or not, because if they have gas, then you have to be careful. If they go for like 6 queen no gas, then you have to be insanely greedy, like make almost no units, double upgrades, and third command center, all that stuff. So
So when you say scouting for gas, are you saying with the that first SCV has to get a double scout, or are you going to actually use a scan at some point to see if he has gas?
no, you scout for early gas, so
Okay.
you send the barracks SCV, and
Okay,
it
yeah.
comes exactly at the right time to check for early gas, and you can keep it there a bit before the links are out, and then you send it to the third base to check for that. So
Oh, I see. I see. So even just a single gas, like I guess Zerx used to do.
yeah,
a little bit of
you're
like-
just going to see one gas. If there's going to be any.
Gotcha.
Like the only double gas timing would be 2 base. They get a queen to the nice scouting, and then they make a double gas roach, and try to kind of all in you with mass roaches.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're going one Rax expand, which is pretty normal these days.
Yeah, on this map it's normal because as you can see, the overlord can see everything,
Yep.
and you just want to be scouted as late as possible. So barracks expansion is actually a better idea than just command center first. That is usually better on other maps where the overlord doesn't see right away what you're doing.
I see. I see. Okay, so right now, you've already kind of deduced that he's not getting gas, right? And that kind of means you're in greedy mode, right? Is that correct or no?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just waiting for a drone to make another expansion with the SCV. So
Okay.
just checking that constantly. And right now, like the only thing that could really fuck me up is if you just put 2 gas and roaches, and that's the only all-in working right now because it's like kinda metagame thing, you don't see gas, then you go greedy, otherwise you're behind because now the queens are insane, so they don't need gas to make speed links and stuff. But then roaches come and you only have Hellions and few Marines, so yeah, that's pretty much the only all-in you have to be afraid of. But I suicided my SCV to check for gases, so I'm completely sure now that I can play perfectly greedy.
Okay, yeah, I was just about to ask you that, so cool.
Even though I'm not playing super greedy, like I still made a bunker, and like I didn't make a command center right now. I'm just attacking to do some harass before, but I feel safe now. So I'm putting my marines in my main to check for overload, so it doesn't scout me. Like it's a different way to play when you're safe. Like some things are not coming, so you can allow it to do other stuff.
Right. Talk a little bit about the importance of still, like, these early 2 or 4 Hellions.
Well, right now the early aliens are not really that valuable anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to
Just
ask you about.
you just make them to deny the third expansion and overall have a scouting capability, because if they make links, then Marines are not really going to be like good enough. I mean, they're kind of slow, and you have to make a lot of them. But Hellions are great against slow links, and they're great at scouting. So that's pretty much the only purpose. But right now, like with the Queens as they are right now, they don't really deny too much creep. So like all you can do is just sneak past the Queens and try to kill some drones. Like if you plan to go mech, like in this game, yeah, you can sacrifice them like this.
Oh, okay. So it's actually worth sacrificing in your opinion. Okay. Wow, you're killing a lot of drones, actually. Holy smokes.
Yeah. It was just going very greedy, but this is actually the way you counter greedy Zerg, because like imagine if I didn't sneak the Hellions, then it would keep making drones over and over like infinitely. That's the problem many players have right now. They just can't put up with like the drone madness that's going on right now. So you have to take your opportunities.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit. So you're still making Hellions, and this is a pretty popular transition, like the Hellion into Banshee. Talk to us the kind of like the logic behind that.
Well, the logic behind that is just that you need scouting, and like Hellion is the best scouting unit. You can punish greedy play with both Hellion and the Banshee. Like I snuck the Hellions past the Sunken, so sorry, the Spaincaller, so he lost some drones, then he played even more greedy, and then he had late spores because he had to refill his drones and he didn't have enough of this. So that's why the Banshee is doing so much damage. And this kind of snowballs, keeps giving you even more advantage if it works. But if it doesn't work, you still have a good economic position. You have units you're going to use later anyway, and you're kind of safe against being run by and stuff like this.
Yeah, he still has to deal with your Banshee regardless of whether he has like the Queens in the sports building, right? So he's not going to be rolling out and attacking you anytime soon. There we go.
Yeah. I just actually picked this replay to show the build and the mech transition.
Cool.
Because this build is actually very, very strong. I copied it completely from MVP.
It looked pretty familiar here.
This build is awesome. I've been trying it for the past days. It works so well. And as you can see, like, if he's too greedy, then he can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
He will just drones after drone, and all you have to do is just be safe against any muta timing. And you can also get double armory. Like, this is very greedy. Look at my factories, I get them so late. It's like 11 minutes, I only have one factory with reactors. The other ones are just getting add-ons right now.
I mean, I know some folks like to transition back to like Marine Tank from this opening. Talk to us, like, which one do you think is better? Do you think the mech transition or the, kind of going back to Marine Tank is better?
I think, in my opinion, if you're going to play this playstyle, like sacrificing Hellions, making a lot of them, and being very aggressive with the Banshee, then Marine Tank is bad. Because you invest so much into Hellions that your upgrades and your infrastructure is going to be too late
for makes sense.
Any Marine timing. But if you're going mech, then it's perfect, because you don't actually need the upgrades that early. Like, upgrades scale a lot better with Bayou than mech.
Right.
Your 2-2 timing with mech is going to be like pretty good if you make the armories like that way. So that's
okay.
so that's why I think if you make so many Hellions, you should go mech and not bio. But some players like to just do it anyway.
Okay, so he's got some mutas out here, and mech. Obviously, mech is really good or huge counter to muta because of the Thors. What do you think that magic mech supply is? Like that supply you reach where mech is just ungodly strong. You know what I mean?
It's not about supply; it's about timings, because it depends only on your opponent's unit composition and of course yours. So,
right.
Like you have to scout and hit timings, and depending on the damage you do, then you decide when to go. If you have to go to play defensive, there is no mech army that's like invincible. The only invincible mech army is a super late game army with like many ravens, Vikings,
Right.
some tanks, and a lot of Thors, and like very low SCV count. So your army is maximized, but that's no timing. That's just a late game situation.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I know. Recently, a lot of Zergs have been, at least through the mid game against mech, they go heavy roach, right? I mean, I guess that's always been the case, just throughout this game or throughout StarCraft 2. It just seems like the roaches have been doing a lot more, like a lot better. I think recently, I see a lot of armies just get stuffed by almost pure roach these days, or maybe roach infestor. I mean, how do you combat, I guess, a roach-centric army here?
Well, the thing is, if you don't get an early lead, which is the main issue, like if Zerg doesn't get behind and they know you're going mech, then the roach timing is going to be insanely strong. So strong that it's probably not even worth going mech every game. That's why you can see most Korean players, they don't go mech every game.
Right.
Because if you're predictable with it, they're going to lose no matter what. Like the stream of roaches is just going to destroy your army. So, and I had a similar experience against Nerchio in the last tournament we played.
Right.
He opened like big roaches, scouted mech pretty early because I let something in, I think a changeling. And then he just made like many roaches early and I couldn't defend it, like there's no way. You can't scout too well. If you scan, you can see something, but you lose 307 minerals early game. If they make the building somewhere else, you don't see anything anyway. So you have to make doors to be safe against mutas, or you just die to mutas if you do mutas. So basically, you get like 2-4 doors, and then roaches come, and like doors in low number are really bad against roaches. So that's pretty much.
Is there any value of adding like a few tanks to this comp?
Well, right now, since I was so far ahead, the only thing he could do was making so many mutas and hoping I didn't make enough doors, so like with the magic box he could kill the rest of the army. So this is safe play. But in case this was not happening, I would have made tanks after like 4 or 5 doors.
Oh, okay. Great.
So basically this is just a way for me to play safe after a big early advantage. Because I could still lose this if you just made like a shitload of mutas and my Taurs died, then of course all my army dies.
I mean, what muta army is going to kill 7 Thors right now? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe some like neural mixed in with a bunch of other stuff. I don't know.
Neural mutas.
Yeah.
That's a bit gas intensive, don't you think?
Yeah, exactly. Alright, looks like you're gonna be crushing here.
Yeah, the thing is, I just wanted to show the build order and how to handle the advantage.
Yep.
Because like many Terran players seem to get that advantage early game, but then they don't know what to do. What I just think is viable is just hit with a +2 timing and make as many Taurs as possible, because they will not have the eco to make enough roaches, and even if they defend with the roaches, you will always trade efficiently, because your Taur count is going to be better if you got the lead in the beginning. So
okay, yeah, let's talk a little bit about the order. Like you were saying you wanted to talk about the build order. So we know we definitely saw you run in with the four Hellions, right? And of course, you were already building the starport in the tech lab because you were already anticipating the Banshee follow-up, right?
Yeah, of course.
Once you get there, when does the third command center fall down, and then when does like the mass factory building occur?
Right after Cloak and Banshee, I make a third command center.
Okay.
Then I go for double armory before the other factories, because you actually don't need another. You don't need the factories so early. I mean, they could go for early mutas, but you kind of see that, because if they go for early mutas, they have less queens, so they can creep spread less, and you keep making Hellions, so your Hellions can even beat their queens.
Mm-hmm.
And the third base is delayed a lot. So like if you see this is happening, then you kind of rush to doors and make the factories earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, you just make command center, like chill, make SCVs, upgrades. And then after the armories, you add the factories. You add like 4 factories more
I see.
after.
I see. Okay, good deal. Yeah, I mean, I really like that style too, just with the Hellions and Banshees, because, I mean, the Zerg just has this force to just sit in his base. Like, I mean, and you can be taking whatever, cutting whatever corners you want, and in a way, at your base, right? And that's kind of where the whole greedy aspect of that, or allows you for that greedy aspect, right?
Yeah, but the
cool.
best thing about it is that you really punish the super greedy play, which is very dangerous. Like if they don't make spores, if they have like late layer, or if they just make drones with nothing else, not enough spines, then you can punish it. So this is why I like this build so much.
Yeah, and every time Zerg loses drones, they seem to lose them in tens. You know what I mean? So, and every time they lose 10, that's like a whole full round of larva that they have to spend back on drones again, right? So it's so good. You just pretty much keep the Zerg at a standstill for a while if you're doing any kind of damage.
Yeah, I mean in this
cool.
game I did way too much damage, but usually like you kill 15 to 20 drones with this build if they're greedy, and from that you kind of play even or like in a small advantage, but yeah, he played way too greedy. That's why he lost so many drones. But he's a top Zerg, so this is actually a mistake. Well, not a mistake. This is a choice that many top Zergs do. Like it's not, yeah. So like you kind of have to punish it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it all started with your 4 Hellions. When those 4 Hellions got in and killed, I think you killed 12 or 14 drones. I mean, he had no choice but to be greedy the rest of the way too, right? Or else he's just going to be behind. So it's a good deal. All right, so let's go to replay number 2. Which one should we do? Should we do the bling one? Is that the one you wanted to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess bling.
All right, let's load this up. See how long this one is, and we'll decide how fast to take this one.
33 game minutes.
Okay. Let's start at 3 minutes, and then we'll decide like when to speed it up and when not to, I guess.
Okay.
A lot of the times these games kind of really end about 5 minutes early. It's just it takes forever to actually die. So let's see how it goes.
TvP is a bit different. Like late game.
Big battle.
Both can turn around the table pretty easily with a good fight, so I think it's always interesting. So I'm there.
Okay, I'm there too. All right, start it up in 3, 2, 1, go. All right,
okay,
guys.
so this is actually a new build I'm doing. Like I've seen nobody doing it, but I love it. I basically, after the supply depot, I send the SCV to scout right away.
Oh, okay.
And I just go for a normal 14 command center double barracks with scouting SCV is like greatly comes like so early compared to like normal for TCC builds, because it is important. Even though I'm going 14 command center and like this is pretty greedy build, if I see with such an early SCV what's going on, and like I see the chrono boost, I see. Especially if they go Nexus first, you can block it right away before it happens. And
nice.
if they do that, like, then you block the Nexus, and then they have to take a late gateway. Like, they're going to be so far behind. It's not going to work. Like,
Gotcha.
Protoss has to pull like 5-6 probes just to kill the engineering. That's basically auto win. So the early scouts in this case is to like have this auto win situation against the Nexus first, and also to have good scouting, so you know exactly what to do and how he spends his chrono boost. Yeah, you can play like your eco is a bit worse. You lose like some minerals, but it's worth it.
So which SCV was it again that you sent?
After the supply depot is completed, I just send that.
Right.
It's very quickly.
Gotcha. All right, let's get
But yeah,
in
my
here.
bunker was a bit late here.
Yep. It's okay, you're gonna clean this up. Probably gonna get away, but it's okay. Didn't do much damage. Got some scouting though, but nothing too crazy. You're kind of doing what what you normally do when you get the early command center, double racks.
Yeah, and from there there's different options. You can go
right.
for a command center, another one, and then even double evo, sorry, double engineering bay, or you can do something in between like this. This is, I actually stole this from Cass. He likes to go double gas barracks into concussive shell marauders, which is very very safe against like early gateway timings.
I see. Wow, Blink's taking... He's going double expand here. I guess he has to make up... Well, I guess he doesn't have to make up for anything. Actually, his natural's up already, but that seems like an early third for Protoss. Is that
It's
okay?
just a normal double nexus build.
Okay.
It's the thing about double nexus, especially in this map, is that it only gets hard countered to 5 barracks. So basically on this map, the players going for 5 barracks marine only are like very very few. Like I've never done it on this map, never, not even once. So
Is it because it's such a big map?
yeah, it's big. So that's the real problem. And double nexus is really strong here for this reason. But it also gets countered from like triple command center double engineering. So
yeah.
you can counter it by either being very aggressive or very very greedy. But anything in between is kinda ineffective. So like aggression is usually not the best thing to do against this double nexus build.
I see.
And that's exactly what I'm doing. Like I was a bit ahead at the beginning because of my build, but I'm doing something in between. I'm making like upgrade, like medevac timing, kinda the normal stuff you do. So like technically, if he plays his cards correctly, I'm behind.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, he has 55 probes and 3 Nexi. I didn't even make my third command center, so all he has to do is hold the first attack, and he should be in a good position.
Right, and that's the tough part of... That's the tough thing for Terran in this matchup, is like you don't get... It's a little bit of both, but obviously once they have once they get Robo, they can get definitely a lot more vision than you guys, but... You know, right now, like, when do you use your scans to really see what he's doing? Like, I feel like Terran plays so blind in this matchup for a long time.
No, it's true. Like, but that also goes for Protoss. Before Observer, it's so random. But it's a choice. Sometimes you just do it, and it's also like a mind game thing because some players know you never scan, so they do like stupid shit that. Like they could do double forge colossi in their main, and if you throw a scan there and you see it, then you just push and win before the colossus.
Yep.
So sometimes you scan just to make sure they don't do this kind of stuff, but usually you want to keep your mules, especially if you're going for this kind of aggression. Then you don't have 3 command centers, and if they're playing greedy and you waste scans, like not waste but you use them, then if they defend, you're going to be so far behind.
Right. Okay, so it looks like you're gonna... Oh, go ahead, keep going.
I scan the observer, and that's very important. If you scan the observer on top of your army, then it means he has nothing else to scout where you're going. This is exactly when drop becomes powerful, because he has no idea, like there's a threat at his third base and he doesn't know anything, so I can just drop and he's not prepared, and he loses a lot of probes from that.
So when you pause it for a second, just real quick.
Yeah.
When you drop in the army, obviously you have 2 medevacs full of Marines and Marauders there, and you know you have your army in the bottom, just threatening that they're not necessarily going in yet, because you want to split them up, right? What do you choose to kill in the base when you drop? Because I know a lot of people, like, I think the probes are the easiest first priority thing, but then after that, once the probes start running, like a lot of folks don't know what to kill, whether to try to take the Nexus out or kill pylons, or
I think, it depends on your position. Like, if you're going for quick double upgrades, like I'm doing in this game, then if you see forges, you need to kill them. Of course, like if you run into probes, to kill forges, like you just go past the probes, then that's a bit stupid. But aside from the probes, which are always the first target, I would say the forges are very important, unless like you're pretty equal in upgrades. Then some other tech structures may be more important, like the robo if they're going colossi, and like if, for example, you know he has like 2 colossi ready and you still need to start your vacuum production, then you need to kill the robo no matter what. It's very situational, but I would say probes come first, and then forges, and then robo, and then nexus.
Okay.
But like if you know for sure that you can kill the nexus, because it has so many HP, so like you have to make sure you kill the nexus without losing all your army, or it's not worth it. So
Okay.
if you can kill the nexus, you do it. But I would say it's the least building to prioritize, because it's so risky to try to snipe a nexus when you can like kill other things that maybe give you less advantage, but it's more safe advantage.
Yeah, and just to point it out, I think for me, the most significant thing that you said there was that it's all about saving your army. So whatever you can kill, yet still retaining some of your army, I guess is is the most important thing. So yeah, I mean the Nexus usually, I've seen so many times where people just like sacrifice that drop just to try to kill a Nexus, and what you're saying here is that even if you kill the Nexus and you lose your entire army, it might not be worth it.
Yeah, the thing is, it's all about cost efficiency. I mean, it's not like if you kill a Nexus and he has 3, then it's a game-winning move. It's not at all. I mean, if you lose like 2 Medivacs and all the things inside them just to kill the Nexus, and we're like in this situation, then it's not worth it. Like, not at all.
Okay. All right, let's start back up. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so yeah, you only lost like a few units there. Killed quite a bit. You canceled one, or you killed one of the forge and some probes, and now you're dropping in the natural too.
Yeah, like I went to the 3rd base and at the same time I dropped on the natural, so he was not following both places. Of course, as Protoss player, you have to be very careful about the force fields, because in a split second you can just lose your army if you don't force field correctly. So you had to pay attention there, and that's why the drop did so much more damage afterwards. So like the thing is, you have to hit at the same time. This is very important in RTS. If you split the attention of your opponent, you're going to do well no matter what. There's no one, like there's not a single person who can control perfectly 2 things at the same time.
Yeah.
But if your units are easier to control, like for example Marines, I just need to steam them, and if I see something happens, I just can draw them back. But he needs to force field, and he needs to check the drop. So in this case, the level of attention he needs to handle like both situations is so much higher than mine, and I can use it to my advantage.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a really good point. All right, so I mean those units in those 2 medevacs were definitely paid. Was well worth its value there, or how much you spent on it for sure. You killed a crap load with that.
Yeah, they kind of balanced out the game.
Yeah.
Because as I said before, like his build order countered mine pretty hard. But the fact that I could kill the observer was key, because when you see the observer and you kill it, then you know that the drop is going to be very, very powerful, and you can even drop with like 3-4 medivacs. That's going to be devastating.
Right.
But in this case, I kinda know Blink. I know that he doesn't like to split his army in this situation, so I just used 2 because
Yeah, I mean a lot of Protoss just rely on the warp in, right, to deal with.
Yeah, but it's not going to be enough against 2-3 medivacs, no matter what.
So any good technique you have for finding observers?
You just need a sharp eye. Like you need to pay a lot of attention, but there is one small thing. If you expect an observer to be in a place and you want to make sure, you just stand there like with your mouse, and then you scroll in and out. So basically,
Cool.
you see like the the angle you see the terrain from changes, and you can see like the blurred observer right there.
It's a lot
So-
easier to see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll show you guys, the viewers, in a second what he's talking about once we get through this double prong attack you're doing right now. It's kind of exactly what you're saying, kind of attacking them in two places, and you're getting great position on these colossi here.
Yeah, I could have controlled the Vikings better. I still killed almost all the Colossi,
You're,
but the drop in the man is doing
Yeah.
like major damage.
you're wrecking his base, jeez. Okay, now you're going to drop in the natural again. That's what's the beauty of this map. Like, drops in the beauty of this map.
And I think this is a mistake he does. I don't like, and I really don't like, when Protoss players warp in units in front of your army. That's so retarded, because I can kill them before they warp.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep.
What the fuck is that? Why do they do that?
I know, it's like they only have a third or half of the hit points too, right?
It's been like 2 years and a half and they still do this mistake, like everyone. I don't know, man.
It's panicky. I mean, that's what it
Pains
is.
my eyes.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like. So what he was talking about earlier, guys, when like wheel zooming is doing this. When you can do this, all of a sudden you see more of a, I guess a lower angle of the observer, so it's a little bit easier to see the little fuzz.
Yeah, basically the changing the camera makes like, you know, the terrain like blurs so
Yep.
the observer. But if the observer stands still, it's so much harder to see. So like if you change the camera, it's like it's moving.
Oh, I
And,
see. I see.
A moving observer is so much easier to spot than a standing observer.
Right.
the-
Right. No, that makes sense. All right. So it looks like he's starting to, he's starting to counter kind of typical Protoss style with like zealot warpins. Is that your base?
Yeah, and tell me if you like it. Like on this map, Protoss players like to hide pylons on the on like top left base or bottom right, whatever, and warp in stuff while your army is out. So my idea was just make a sensor tower to cover the whole area. That's my sensor tower spots, as you can see on
Oh,
top
there
of
it
my
is. Yeah, I
base.
see it. Okay.
And I just love it. Like it works so well. Sensor tower is so strong, and like, I think it's an overrated building. I think sensor towers are like,
Yeah, they're
so
pretty.
strong.
They're not that expensive either.
I don't know, they're cheap, and it's
Yeah.
like
It's true.
kind of a small map pack. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, any kind of added time it gives you to react is so good. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this game is all about scouting and positioning. So of course, as many sensor towers as you have, the better your position can be.
Oh, that robo had 11 health left on it. Oh, here comes the Suicide Marines. They're definitely taking that puppy out. Oh, maybe
Okay,
not.
what
No. Oh, never mind. Okay. Sorry, keep going.
What I'm doing now is I know that I don't think I can beat him like with a normal army. He's kind of getting into a late game situation. I lose a couple Vikings. This is not the best engagement for me. But I don't remember. I think he barely repelled this because of my poor ghost control. Could have been much better. And the Vikings were not killing the Colossus, so yeah, 20 kills from the Colossus is way too much.
Yeah.
And now I lose the Vikings. So this is a horrible engagement for me. This was really bad. But what I was trying to do before that was basically suiciding Marines, because I think Marines late game are horrible. They're like the last unit you want to have. So the idea is, well, later I will make more command centers for orbitals, so I can even sacrifice SCVs. Now I have 66 SCVs. If you check, 66 is the perfect number to have like 2 SCVs on each mineral patch on 3 bases and take each gas for 3 bases. So
I see. Right.
in this matchup I always make 66 because it's the perfect number for the mid game when you have 3 bases.
I see.
And later on when you take a 4th base, then you can just take half of your SCVs from the main base and the natural, and then you have 2 per patch on your 4th base, so it's a pretty good map to try. But yeah, now I'm just trying to get Ghost Marauders. I'm making Marines because he attacked me. In case he didn't attack me, I would just keep making Ghosts and Marauders. But now I have to be careful because if he attacks me again and I don't have enough army, I obviously lose the game. So
Right. So
that's why I make.
it's kind of interesting. I mean, I understand the logic as to why not to build Marines because, you know, obviously they're both of the Protos's AE damage kill Marines really quickly, whether it's Colossi or it's Storm. But Marines are a lot of the DPS. So do Marauders and Ghosts provide enough DPS to
Well,
take out that army?
DPS-wise, Marines are so much better than anything else.
Right.
But you also have to consider that the Colossi don't die instantly. Like, your Vikings won't kill the Colossi instantly.
Sure.
And if you have Marines, they will melt so easily. And then, if you counterattack with Marines, then one storm, and they already are like in the yellow, and they all die.
Right.
So basically, you have I don't know.
So sustainability. You're more.
army.
It's more about sustaining your unit
Yeah,
count.
the thing is, Ghosts and Marauders have so many HP, and if you get enough...
Oh wow, it's a huge right here.
If you can snipe the observers, then the Ghosts are just standing there doing their DPS, and then you keep them for the next battle, so... that's why Ghosts are so strong. They don't have enough, like, as much DPS as Marines, but the fact that you can kill the observer grants them like so much survivability, and you can also EMP everything. Like, if you can EMP every Archon, then the Archons become useless, and if the Archons become useless, then Protoss army is so much weaker than it is with Archons. And Archons completely raped Marines. Archons against Marines are ridiculous. So
yeah, they are. Okay, so you obviously took out the 4th base there. You seem to win the first pass at that engagement, kind of y'all's first engagement, and obviously his Warpins ended up cleaning it up. But would you say that was a good exchange for you, or I mean, is kind of trading armies a good thing for Terran or a bad thing in this matchup?
Well, the thing is, I could have taken the fight better. I'm not taking the best fights in this game, and I'm also experimenting with Raven because when I'm in late game, I have many orbitals, so I'm like, I can scan a lot.
Right.
And I don't need that sick good eco. But then I just think I can just make a Raven. Like, it's so like supply efficient because, well, first of all, it costs a lot of gas and few minerals, and it's pretty good for Terran with TvP. And also, 2-point defense drones will allow your Vikings to last much longer in a battle, 2 or 4 depending on how many Ravens you have.
Yeah, Ravens are awesome. I mean,
they're like a sick unit.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're one of the best units in the game, and it's so funny that Terrans just are now starting to use them more.
You're right, but there's you have to know the situations.
Yep.
That's kind of like in the beginning nobody was expanding and everybody was playing one base, banning boss, stuff like this.
Yep.
I mean, the game just evolves and you find out what's good and what's bad. Raven is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, everybody talks about the utility of the infestors for Zerg, but the Raven actually has one extra utility, so it's so good. All right,
but
so
the thing about the Raven is that at this point in the game, I only want to kill observers, because if I kill the observers, then my ghosts can just run wild and kill everything. So if I get Ravens, I can just go around with my Vikings and kill the observers on the map, which grants me less observer count, a good gas trade for me, because he has to keep making observers instead of Colossi, and also map visibility.
I see.
Did I just say map visibility in the first place? That is map visibility, ghost efficiency in battle, and the fact that you can actually trade against observers well, because if you trade a scan for an observer, it's not a good trade. I mean,
for you,
I mean, you want more minerals, so. like Raven is 100, 200, and you can see the observers. While to kill an observer, I have to use a scan, which is worth 207 minerals, like
Right.
in case it was new.
So you're kind of throwing away your Marines here, right?
Yeah, I'm doing
On
the same
purpose.
thing I was doing before,
Yeah.
the battle rods. I kind of lost the middle,
Mhm.
and now I'm trying to get the good late game army again. It's pretty
Gosh,
much.
look how many gateways he has. There's so many. So, what do you think about nukes late game?
Oh, they're great. They're absolutely great. They are so strong, but in this game, I didn't feel my eco was too good. I took a couple bad fights, or I could have gone nukes too,
Mhm.
but I felt like I had to focus more on production and like less on this kind of harassment. But I usually make nukes and they're great. It's like they're great for positioning. What I love about nukes is that if you get the Protoss out of position and then he comes to you to defend like an expansion or something, you just throw a nuke.
Yeah.
And he can't go in
exactly.
because if he goes in, then his army gets nuked. Or if he doesn't want to get nuked, then like he engages you and then he runs back. But then you kind of get the best out of it. So I think
Yeah.
nukes are great.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, exactly what you said. Just zoning out the Protoss army. Wow, look at it. This is great fight.
I lost way
here.
too many Vikings there, but I
He's
keep
out of
all the
Tenor Storm
costs.
now. Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to serve it though.
It's amazing how much DPS just straight Ghost Star. Ghosts do so much damage just by themselves.
Yeah, if I killed that observer, then no ghost would have died, and they would have like 8 more ghosts. Like, think, if I had 8 more ghosts, how much would it be? Like 23 ghosts right now? And I would just need to make Marauders Marines, reinforce, I could win this fight easily.
Yeah, I mean Zealots can't even touch your ghosts. Actually, the only thing that can kill your ghosts are really, I mean, without an observer, is Storm, right? That's about it.
Or Colossus splash damage,
Oh, true.
if they are like between 100 units. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so that was definitely cost. You've pretty much gone through his full army and a couple warp ends there, so that was really good for you.
Yeah, I mean, in the
GG.
unit lost a bit, he lost 50k more than me in resources, and we had the same amount of bases, so
Yeah,
of course that means I'm winning the game.
good deal,
If
man.
it's
Nice one, man. I really liked that replay. Hopefully, you guys out there enjoyed that too. All right, let's get to. Well, let me fill in the viewers on as to what we're doing. If you're just tuning in, we have aTnCloud on today to kind of walk us through some Terran strategies, and we've been going through replays. Gone through 2 of them now, one TvZ and now one TvP. We're going to go into the third one, and which one we're going to do here, Club?
okay, this is a game I lose, but I think it's pretty interesting to see. The game against Targa.
Okay. Let's load
the
that
sixth
puppy up.
replay.
Okay, the one on Ohana, right?
Yeah.
Okay, loading that up. And guys, debuting my new overlay. What do you guys think? Hanzo SC2. I think it's Hanzo SC2. Either that or just Hanzo. He made this overlay for me, and God, he's such a badass. This thing is pretty sweet. I really like it. So I'm gonna actually see if he can make some overlays for the other screens too, because he's so good. But yeah, check him out. I think he might be in the chat. Say hi to him. Say, give him props for a great job he does. He does a lot of the other ones, like the EG. I think the EG ones, and I think before he did, what used to be the Check 6 ones too. So yeah, check him out, guys. But all right, let's get to this replay. Let's get to. Should we go 2 minutes again?
Yeah.
All right. Get
But
there.
before going into the game, I would
Sure.
just like to give a quick shout out to Targa,
Okay,
because
yeah.
I met him at IM, and he's such an awesome guy. He's like always happy, like always wants to go out, party, have fun. He's a good player. Like, I just love him. So just
It's
quick
always
shout out to
good. It's
Targa.
always good to
Big
have
guy.
that kind of
Yeah. Awesome
mentality and personality. Yeah, exactly. Not hate all your competitors. Okay, let's start
Okay.
this up. 3, 2, 1, go.
At the second minute, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going for like 14 command center. Like this is the most common build right now in TvZ.
Okay.
And even if they counter it with like 6 pull, you can still win if you run your SCVs around the map, make a barrack behind minerals, and if you can get the bunker up, then you can just lift your command center there. It's fine. So
Oh wow. Okay, that's really good to point out because a lot of folks don't go command center first because of that threat, right? Okay,
yeah.
so just find some place on the map, build a bunker, build a barrack in a bunker, and then just fly there. Okay, that's
it
great advice.
depends. Like if they come with links only, then you can defend with SCVs. If they come with links and drones, which is the most dangerous,
Yeah.
then you have to do that because you're not going to be able to defend that.
I see.
So
Good deal. Yeah, I know a lot of folks on the ladder probably have to face that, so that should be some good advice for you guys out there. Okay, so building your double racks to follow up, which is very, very common. Sort of just always doing the same thing here. Okay.
Yeah, usually you go gas, like barracks gas. This is a less used build usually because you don't get the Hellions. And like you just get more marines, so like you can use them to punish an expansion. This is like a more aggressive build order, while the Hellion is more about control, punishing. Like marine builds are very, very aggressive. So
when do you use each? Like what's scenario? Like maps or scenarios?
It's more about thinking about how your opponent plays and finding the right answer. This is a lot about mind game. Of course, you don't do this like responding to anything you see into the game. This is a response to trends you see from a certain player or from the current meta game. So
right, or a previous game in a series or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
This is prediction, mind game, a bit of luck, just a bit. It's not much actually. Some people think it's all about luck. It's not. Like players tend to play like only genius players can surprise you with like some sick stuff, but most players have their own trends, their own builds, their own comfort zone. So
nobody completely plays random. Randomly mixes up everything. Everybody has kind of a favorite,
and they can do it perfectly.
Oh well, okay. Except for Flash, but we all know Flash is Flash is the best, so it's different.
Well, not in SC2, but
no, not in SC2.
I see like when I see him play, I'm like, I don't know, I have tears to my eyes.
They're catching up quick, man. They are definitely catching up quick. Okay, so now you have the Marines. Are you going to actually pressure with these? Like I know some folks like to, instead of use the Hellions, like you said, you actually come out with the Marines.
Okay, the thing is, I scouted late third base and he had a gas.
Okay.
So if I push now, it would be effective, but it would be really unsafe. And he knows that. That's why he's playing greedy. He thinks I'm playing defensive because I saw the gas and late third base.
I see.
But I'm not playing overly defensive. So it's kind of like a double mind game situation. Like
right.
Both are trying to counter each other, but not too hard, because we still don't know what's going on. So yeah, we just try to get comfortably into the game.
And what are you shooting for right now? Like, what timing are you kind of working towards?
Well, this is so greedy. I made like quick double engineering, but I didn't make the command center on my third because of the threat of links, and I didn't attack with my marines to prevent the third base, which would have worked perfectly. But I just explained why that was a bad move. So I'm just like getting upgrades, tanks, medivacs, and just try to have a strong 2-2 timing with as many units as possible, and trying to pump up as many SCVs as I can.
Okay. Yeah, and you mentioning not pushing and going double engineering, getting that late third, and it's kind of back to that point where you're kind of in that in-between stage, right? You usually like to be either like, committed to either going greedy or going aggressive, right?
Yeah, exactly. like he's playing a bit cautious, like at the beginning, because of the reasons I said earlier. So
Right.
his upgrades are actually greatly delayed compared to mine, and this is going to be like an insane advantage for me, because every situation where my marines are 1-1 upgrade ahead of his links is going to be so incredibly cost efficient for me.
Right. Okay, so he's creeping past halfway point. That's wow. That creep's actually really fast.
Yeah, isn't it?
He's got like 25 tumors on the map.
It's like 10 minutes.
I
He's
know. Halfway at 10 minutes is pretty darn fast. Okay, so it looks like he's going to be going. It doesn't look like he's going fast high, right? He's going to be going mutas here.
yeah, it's going to go mutas. And I don't know, like, it can work. Like, Vortex plays this every game, and it's really good. But, like, on this map, I don't see a good reason to go mutas. Like, sorry, mosquitoes.
That's okay.
You can't exploit mobility because this map is not big, and like everything is so like the expansion is so close. So it's not like you can counter effectively. You just have to win the fights, and you can do it with mutas. But then I would rather get infestors, honestly. Like faster railings and not mutas.
Right. All right. So getting your third base. Your third base is fully established now. Again, like, what are you working towards right now? Are you just working towards a max army, like Marine tank, and then kind of pushing out while you take a fourth type of thing, or?
Yeah, exactly. Like just the timing before the hive, or just 2-2 timing is good. It doesn't have to be like just before the hive. It's just the 2-2 timing is very strong in this case.
Okay.
And yeah, I just want to point out the number of SCVs I have. It's 70. In this matchup, I make from 70 to 72 SCVs, depending on the map. And the only exception is Antigua, where I make 60, because on Antigua, okay, but there's okay, never mind. On Antigua, Zergs tend to rush Ivan Broodlords, so you have to push your timing, like get your infrastructures like earlier, and maybe like have a bit worse late game, but hit a stronger timing. So
I see.
like, the number of SCV is pretty important, and if you make more than 70-72, then your army is not going to be strong enough. So that's a very important thing, and you always have to count the SCVs. You can't make them randomly. Just that work.
All right, yeah. To hear that, guys, be precise about your SCVs, or your SCV count from 70 to 72. That's really.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm surprised he never engaged you there. I mean, I felt like he had quite a bit there, but that's good for you.
Yeah, just wants a good position.
Yeah.
Like,
guess he's in no rush, I guess. He's got creep everywhere, and his fourth is just getting down, so. Didn't have a huge bank, too, so he probably wouldn't have reinforced immediately, so.
the thing is, the creep is everywhere, so he can see, like, so much. And this is a bad position for me. I don't have one siege tank. They're like, the tanks shouldn't be there, and they get killed easily.
Yeah.
And now my micro could have been better. Like, even with the bad position, if I had a better marine micro, I could have evened the army loss for both.
I see.
But now it's good from him, so the only advantage I get in this scenario is upgrades. And that's pretty much all. 0-0 mutas against 2-2 marines, the links are still 1-1. That's the only thing that is keeping me in the game right now. And when I try to focus mutas, of course, because they're like a snowball unit.
Right.
So like if you have few mutas, they're going to be pretty useless.
Yeah, well, you kind of you killed a lot of stuff kind of when you pushed in there. That was really cost efficient for you. So
yeah, I should have just like laid back, wait a moment, get these infestors, get a big army. And the good thing about the mutaling army is that if you win a fight, which you're not supposed to in most cases, but in this case you did, then it continuously grows, because even though you're maxed like at 200, you can make more banelings. So it's kind of like it keeps growing like over and over, as long as you have the resources to make more banelings.
Yeah, I guess the power of it, I guess, continues to grow even with the same supply.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you reset the tank count and you just make more and more banelings, then it's going to be so hard for Terran to react to that.
Yeah.
And that's
Ling
exactly
Bane
how
is really
Stefano
strong.
was playing before he went to Easy Faster Start.
Yeah,
Sorry, what you were saying about Ling Bane.
I was gonna say Ling Bane is just strong, straight up. You know, like with good control, Ling Bane is so strong, like against a lot of stuff. Just those two units.
You know, I think it's more about, it's kind of an army that works well against, like, if you have an advantage. I think a good comparison is like if a Protoss has many stalkers, like enough to kill a Terran army, then the best thing to do is keep warping more stalkers, because they're kinda snowball kinda units.
Yeah.
And this is the same scenario for like Muta, Link Bane.
Oh, gonna pick out all these infestors. Wow.
Yeah. The great thing about infestors is that they can be cost efficient. Even if Zerg is behind, it's like an high Templar. You can get back into the game, like punish bad positions. They have so much more utility,
Right.
and like that's why most Zerg players play infestors right now.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those units where you can, like you said, come back in the game where one mistake can really cost, can really get the Zerg well back into the game. When you can't do that with like Mutas. Mutas, you're just gonna be behind the whole time.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Muta, you can be aggressive with Mutas, while with infestors,
right,
you can, but it's not really the same. So.
Okay, so how do you feel right now, like in the game? Are you feeling like you're way behind here, or are you feeling okay?
It's kinda even.
Okay.
I lost my tanks, which is pretty big and is getting infestors, but I know that my upgrades are better, and I kinda expect him to not go ultras because of this. So I just think I need to run around the map, snipe expansions, stuff like this, and I'm fine. As long as I don't let him build this like sick ruler army before my Viking and Ravens are there.
Alright, so taking out the 4th base here, and you're trying to drop at the main at the same time, right? Just to kind of...
Yeah, the thing is, I dropped and I got him out of position.
Right.
I saw he brought the infestors, so I just ran in with everything. That worked really well, but then I did a mistake. I forgot that he could like burrow the drones, so I didn't scan. And I could have killed 15 drones there, but I didn't, so that was a mistake.
Oh, I see. Okay, there are the broods, and catching you off guard there. Oh wow, it's a good position there. Let's make it a fungal there. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's why infestors are good, right there.
But I have 3 Marines against 2 Lynx and Medivacs, and this is going to be like so cost efficient for me.
Oh my god.
Well, not cost efficient, but if he had 3-3, then I would have totally lost my army. But now I kinda traded, so it's still even.
Did you kill much there? I didn't see you. Oh, I guess you did. You killed that. Okay, yeah. You killed that base. Okay, I missed that. Okay, so you're repairing. I was watching the main army there. Okay, and now you're dropping in the main. Gotcha. Okay.
And one thing I don't like about what Targa is doing is that he's upgrading the air weapon. I think that's pretty useless, because all you want to do is make your Corruptors and Broodlords last longer. And like the Broodlords don't have like high damage, it's more about the Broodlings, so you want more survivability rather than damage. So all the Zergs that go for air weapon instead of armor kinda, I don't really like it. I don't think it's the smartest thing to do.
Right. Okay, so you think they should get Carapace?
Yeah, of course. Like,
Right.
but they should get both. But since he's low eco now, he should get Carapace and not weapons.
Gotcha. Alright.
And I like try to get him out of position all the time. It's all about the infestors. If the infestors are in one place, then I can run around my army. Without the infestors, he can't lock anything. I can just snipe expansions, kill stuff. It's pretty cool. I wasted some units there. Like, if I spread my Vikings, I could have killed so much more. But overall, it's still good for me because yes, his fourth base is just put it down.
Yep.
So like my eco is much better, and all I need to do now is make ravens. I make like many ravens with the seeker missile, and just take big fights. And now he can't attack me. He just has a few infestors, very low eco, 2 broodlords. He has nowhere to attack me, so that's the right moment for me to make the ravens.
Yeah, it's amazing how the flow of this game goes, because I think a lot of people probably would have said that you were like on the verge of losing this game, and then it just comes down to just a bunch of cost efficient trades that just kind of slowly swings this game into this position that you're talking about, where it's like the Zerg is struggling to remax his army, right? And you're just still on that kind of even flow that you've been on the whole time. Oh wow, he's gonna take this out?
Yeah, that's the thing about Terran, and that's why it's also a comeback race, because with the mules, with the marines, it's like for you it's always like it's always a flow, while for Zerg it's more about building up slowly and then going in. So if you can kinda trade all the time, then it's going to be advantageous for Terran. Yeah, I had no scan, or I could have killed 3-4 infestors there. I do a big mistake here, I will explain later. But now I should be worrying about clearing the creep and getting ravens. And that's what I'm doing. The ravens were a bit late, but since he was so far behind, he won't come in just now. It's too risky for him. So like think if I just steam 20 marines to Medivacs and counter to his base, he could have lost everything if he just went now. So
right.
He needs to wait. He needs to stay defensive.
Yeah, he's being pretty patient. I'm surprised he's not trying to. There he is. Now he's going to take that 5th again. And I mean, right now you should be feeling really comfortable, right?
Yeah, I'm winning.
Yeah, totally.
Like all I need to do is just make these ravens, get a few seeker missiles on the corruptors, then it's over. And I actually did a big mistake. I made many Tors, which is, I mean, they're okay units, and I'm making more. But if you have ravens and Vikings, then you don't need Tors to deal with the corruptors, like stack stuff. You just don't need them. So if you have more tanks to snipe the infestors, it's way better.
I see. And is that the first thing you do in the engagement? You always control the tanks to focus the infestors?
It's not the first. The first thing you do is spread your army and the Vikings, and then you scan when it goes into you. When you see the infestors coming, you just have to spam click. Like you have to spam like there's no tomorrow to kill all of them with the tanks.
Gotcha.
But also if like any other unit comes like Banelings, then the priority is splitting. I mean, you kind of have to do all at the same time, but also know when to do the stuff.
Yeah, that was a good attack by him.
Yeah, so basically what happened here, I moved the Marines on the other side of the map, and he didn't have enough links to defend. So he sent the infestors. I see the infestors, and I'm like, okay, he only has a few broodlords. If I just team my Marines and my Tors, I can kill them. And the idea was nice, because usually they have many corruptors and like 6, 7, 8 broodlords. but he had 11. So basically the fact I didn't scan his broodlord count made me lose that engagement.
I see.
If I was just more patient and just waited for the Seeker missiles, then I would have just won.
Oh, so you didn't have Hunter Seeker yet? I guess I'm kind of re-looking at this battle. Oh, you didn't.
Yeah, and I also have I have 2, 4, 6, 7 Vikings at my 5th base spot.
Yeah, you're just short of energy there. Oh man.
Yeah, so that was a mistake. Not like the mistake was not like not waiting for the Seeker missile. Well, of course it was, but the main mistake was not looking at how many broodlords he had. So I could understand if I could deal with them with just my marines or not.
Right.
Because if the infestors are out of position, then the best thing you can do is of course trade marines for broodlords.
Okay, just rush them. I gotcha.
Yeah, like the idea was really nice, but the situation was not right for it to happen. But I still think I played like strategically well. Just a big mistake in the end, but I think I learned a lot from this game, so I'm pretty happy with it.
No, I think the game was, I think the replay was great because it just showed you that, like we were talking, I was, just mentioning it just a moment ago, but just about the flow of the game, and that's really how Terran works, especially against Zerg, particularly against Zerg, is that it always looks like you're behind. It always feels like you're behind. If obviously if you're not a Terran player, you're just watching. It always feels like the Terran's just a little bit behind, and you don't realize it's all those little engagements that are just cost efficient for the Terran that it just slowly moves the pendulum over, you know what I mean, until it gets to the point where it's like, oh, now the Zerg can't even do, like they're like stuck on 160 supply, like they just can't get over it. So yeah, it's always cool to kind of see that and kind of get a better understanding of it. Well, all right, I think we still got some time, buddy. So if we want to go over one more replay.
Yeah, sure. Let's see
which one. Yeah. And viewers, for those of you just tuning in, we're here with aTnCloud or aTnCloud, and he's been going over 3 of his replays of TvZ and TvP, kind of walking us through strategies, builds, some mechanics. All of Carlos' great tips. He's like amazing at doing this. So yeah, natural man.
Yeah.
All right,
so,
which should we do?
I think let's get a replay that's not too long.
Okay, sure.
Number 5 against Rangers. I think he's from Canada, right? Rangers.
I think so. Definitely NA.
It's like US or Canada.
Yeah, Rangers been a good player for a long time.
He was okay in Broodlord. Like never our top player, but he was okay. Yeah.
Okay, Antigua here. We're going to be going over another TvP. And okay, let's go to 2 minutes. What's a short game? That should be interesting. All right.
So we go to the second minute again?
Yeah, let's go to minute 2 here. And let me know when you're ready. And guys, we're going to be doing Q&A after this, so get ready to, I guess, call in your questions, or actually I'll be calling you. So the way you do that is add me on Skype. My Skype ID is ChanmanV, and I will pull you onto the call so that you can ask Cloud or myself any questions you want. It doesn't have to be strategy related. It could be just, what's his favorite food? Or what's it? Just a way to get to know Cloud a little bit better. All right, ready.
Asking an Italian what's his favorite food is a silly question.
It's everything.
You have
right?
to know.
Okay,
Come on, say it.
Sorry, what is it?
What's an Italian's favorite food?
I actually don't know. What is it?
And it's pizza.
Oh, it's pizza? Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds so generic, man. Really? I wouldn't have. Oh, I know it's from Italy. Gosh.
Okay.
It's just.
No, I'm joking. It's actually not my favorite food anyway.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, let's
we
go.
should. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Man, we should have done our giveaway today. We could have had what's your favorite food, because we always ask like a trivia question during the giveaways. But I did it on Monday though. Okay, so you're gonna be opening. You can actually open Command Center. Okay, Command Center first. There we go.
Yeah. And this is actually the ladder version. it's not cross, so
Mhm.
I have to scout early. Like in this case, I didn't go for the quick scout after the supply depot. Wanted to be greedy,
Okay.
but since this is a 4-player map, I had to send the scouts pretty early. Otherwise, I would just send the SCV that completes the barracks.
Okay.
So it gets there before the first stalker, which is the main point. Like, when you scout late, just go there before the stalker and see like how much energy they have on the Nexus, and if they get expansion, if they have double gas or not, how many probes are mining gas, how much gas has been mined from both gases, and stuff like this.
Yeah. All right. So poked in there the first time. Gonna be going in there again soon, like you were saying.
And yeah, so I saw the Nexus, so I'm like, okay, let's play super greedy. Like, this is an example of playing extreme greedy, and I just wanted to show it to, because sometimes it's important to like play kinda abusive. Some players just, for example, Welmo,
Mhm.
just to Welmo is a player who plays the same stuff over and over. So to counter this kind of player, the best way is to like play very very abusive builds, and you have to know what abusive builds are the best against certain builds. So like
Yeah.
if they go for like a slow Colossus, 2 Forge, late third expansion kind of thing to get quick upgrades and Colossi, then playing super greedy is the best thing to do. You get just like double command center, and even though I didn't know what he was doing, I know that Ranged doesn't like 2 base timings. I know that it takes the 3rd base, but I also know that it likes quick double upgrades most of the times. So just the conclusion is that I should play even more greedy,
Mhm.
and I shouldn't care too much about early aggression, because usually from him it doesn't come. So that was the whole point.
Gotcha. Yeah, and because just to point out the double upgrades and what that means is it's like he's just not going to be building units, right? So there's just going to be no aggression, no even chance of aggression because he's going to be sitting on so few gateways anyways. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I accept. Like, but the early game is more about the chrono boost. Like if there was a way to check where the chrono boosts are, it would be super for
So talk to me about the second bunker. Obviously, the one bunker is very standard.
Yeah, the thing is, even though you suppose something is not happening, you still have to be safe against like small pressure into greedy play, because greedy players, when they apply pressure, they apply a small pressure, just like to punish some very very greedy play, like I did against Bly in the previous game, where he was super greedy and he didn't care at all about defending the Hellions. That's why he lost. I just want to avoid this kind of situation. Otherwise, I would just not even make 3 barracks, not even make a second bunker. I would just go for like double upgrade right away.
I see.
It's pretty bad. I think this is better. Just you have to be kind of safe against certain stuff anyway. You can't just blindly play super super greedy without considering anything else. That's poor play most of the times, unless you really know your opponents.
Alright, so let's see what the SCV probe count looks like. Okay, looks like you're ahead economically here, just by a little bit.
And yeah, as you can see, like Robo double forge, so I was spot on this. Yeah, like being predictable is horrible in this game. It doesn't work. Like it can work sometimes, but if the other player knows what's going on and he remembers like your habits, which is important. I think many players underestimate the remembering all the habits and like all how their opponents play. But if you remember all this stuff, then yeah, playing predictable is horrible. It doesn't get you anywhere.
So one thing to point out, or just to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit, is your kind of solution for him teching early was to really be super greedy. And it seems like him teching early too is meant for like a mid game kind of mid-late game timing anyways, right? Just when his upgrades are finished, and then he can just like build that big army that's already, has like 2/2, or they're just really, really strong, right? Why not just go super aggressive in the beginning, like when he has no units instead? Like even off your command center first, like why not just go like 5 racks after that and try?
It's because the sentries make it too cost efficient. If I don't have medivacs, the sentries are too strong. That's pretty much the reason. And if they go double forge Colossus, then they get 1 Colossus in time for the medivac timing. So this kind of build is perfect against a quick medivac timing play with like kinda not fast upgrades.
Okay. Good deal. And I can't believe this game's only 13 minutes. This is gonna be. I would have guessed this game was gonna go on for a long time, but looks like there's gonna be some kind of huge engagement here, or just really quick engagement here.
Yeah, I mean, look at the SCVs and probe count. They have more SCVs than probes and moves.
Yep.
And they haven't scanned anything. So like, and my third base was quicker. So basically, I'm just so far ahead right now. I just need to hit like a correct timing where like my army is so much bigger than the fact he gets Colossi doesn't matter.
Which, I mean, your army supply is much bigger too. You're like 24 supply, so he has to have that Colossi just even that out. All right, here we go.
Yeah, I got my 66 SCVs, and now I can just focus on making units and upgrades and ghosts.
You sound like a Zerg, man. All right, now you're dropping.
No, they don't count drones to just make a random.
Oh, come on, that's not true.
Okay, this is a small move. I dropped the marine just to check out the base, and I could see the robotics. I could see the upgrade was going on, so I know that this Colossus count is not big, because if he's upgrading, what can he have? Like 2 Colossi at most.
Right.
So I'm just comfortable with the next timing I'm going to do, because if he had more than 2, then this would not work without Vikings, and I would need to win more Vikings.
Okay. So 2 is really that key number. Once it's more than, it's just like snowballs and.
Yeah, like 2 would still hold like handleable. How do you say that?
Yeah. It just kind of evens it out. Yeah. But 3 is too
with,
much.
With ground units. But if he has 3, then you need at least 6 to 8 Vikings to go.
Yeah, he didn't really even have 2 in this battle. It's more like 1 in 1 in a 10th maybe. Okay, now you're crushing it. There we go.
My army supply was so big due to my choice to do this greedy build with upgrades that it didn't matter. So basically this is a build order win that comes into play at 13 minutes and 30 seconds. So yeah.
Awesome. All right, buddy. Well, that's it for the replay. I just before we kind of close down this overlay, I just wanted to say again, big thanks to Hanzo for making me this overlay. It's awesome. It's supposed to be a cargo spaceship type of theme, so hopefully you guys like it. We're gonna be using it from now on, and he's an awesome graphics artist. So, okay, let's do some Q&A, guys. We're gonna start Q&A with Carlo here, or Cloud here, and the way you call in your questions is add me on Skype. My Skype ID is ChanmanV, and I will pull you in. You don't have to call me. I'll actually pull you into the call, and then we can start chatting with you. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? We got somebody already. We got, who's this? I don't even know how this. I'm not going to even try. Okay, all right, first caller here. Uh-oh, the screen's got messed up. Sorry about that. We're going to have to fix that in a second.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Am I allowed 2 questions, or?
Sure. Yeah, you can ask 2 questions. That's fine. We got time.
I want to know about meching for TvZ. What maps should I mech on for TvT and TvZ, actually?
Okay, this is easy. You can do it on every map. Like, it doesn't matter the map. It's like in TvZ it's more about doing it without being predicted. Because if they predict that, especially on a short map, then they can counter you with roaches. If it's a big map, then you can just mech every game. Like on Atlantis spaceship, I think you can mech every game and be safe with it. But on a map like Ohana, then I don't think you can go and mech every game. It's just not safe. So
Yeah.
it's,
I really had troubles trying to defend my fourth. You know, the one, like, ooh. So, can you guys still hear me, or?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Oh, sorry, there was a little thing. Anyway, second question is, in the last game, you said you have your 66 SCVs and you feel fine with that. Is that the number I should be going for? Because I see some people go like 80. I'm not...
no, 80 is too much.
Yeah?
If you play very, very aggressive style and constantly trade like Marine King, then it's fine. But most of the times you can't do that. And Marine King has dropped that kind of play style as far as I know. So you want to saturate like cost efficiently, like not supply efficiently your minerals. And the best way is to have 2 STVs per mineral. So in TvP, where one big fight counts, then you need the least amount of SCVs, which is 66.
Okay.
Like in TvT, I make from 70 to 72, and the same goes for TvZ. So I think these are pretty much the right numbers. You can make less. Like if you open triple command center against Protoss and you want to hit like a strong mid-game timing, like 12 minutes, 170 supply, then you can make like 60, 55 SCVs. But these are exceptions.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks for calling in.
All right, take care, guys.
Yep, you too. All right. Oh, shoot. The thing got messed up. All right, hold on. Give me a second. There you go. It's good old Skype. It always changes like the screen size when somebody calls in here. Okay. Who we got next? We got, I don't know how you pronounce that. Forwarder? Forwarder?
Hi guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, man.
You got a question for Cloud here?
Yeah, well, I would really like to ask. I'm kind of a beginner player, so
Yeah, no problem.
I'm very bad. I would like to ask that. What do you think that the biggest thing that beginners need to work on when going from, let's say, bronze to platinum? What is the biggest thing?
Yeah. Okay, when I started playing Brood War, I improved really quickly because I was just practicing my mechanics. That's like whenever you start something, you always start from the basics, and the basics is micro and production and build order. So all you have to do is just try to not get over minerals, try to get like everything together smoothly, kind of get a bit faster. Just forget metagame, like complex things. Just focus on have a solid gameplay and like don't get too many minerals, have a good unit control, like these kind of things. And if you improve in that, then you're going to do so much better, like every game you play.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Have a nice day.
All right, thanks for calling in.
Bye.
All right. Actually, somebody in stream chat asks, says, I guess, why do you pull away your mules at the last moment before it dies? Is it just because you don't want to waste any minerals, or?
Okay, the thing is, when you use a mule on a close mineral spawn, the others don't matter. Like on a close mineral spawn, you can mine 270 minerals, but before they expire, they will mine 30 minerals, but then they will die on the way to the command center. So basically, 30 minerals will be gone from the game, like dying with the mule that is expiring.
Mm-hmm.
So before the last time they gather a mineral, I pull them away, so I don't waste these 30 minerals.
Right.
And in TvP especially, you have to scout outside your base, but usually there's a stalker or something. I like to call down mules like close to the exit of my expansion. So when the mule expires, I can send it towards the exit and check what's going on there.
Oh, nice.
So it can also be a scouting tool. Or you can scout for overlords in your base with the dying mules as well.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, such details that don't even realize you guys do. That's cool. All right, Yarno, I'm calling you. You don't have to call me. Here we go.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey man.
It's going pretty well. One sec. You
No
there?
problem. Yep. You got a question
Yeah,
for
okay.
Cloud?
Okay, so I got a question. So a while ago there was this interview for with David Kim, and he basically said that for their balancing, they didn't really how do you say, they really didn't really ask pro gamers, but people that were very good at balancing or at reviewing the game. So do you guys think that people that aren't pro gamers are good enough to see the total balance of the game and to evaluate the game?
Did you by any chance see my interview about Heart of the Swarm I did at Gamescom?
No, I did not.
Okay. I said some nasty things about David Kim.
Okay.
I think they could do a much better job, and they're not hiring the most competent people. So yeah, they should be hiring pro gamers, not random people. I mean, they were looking for like a random player above like Platinum League for the
Yeah.
balance, like recently. I don't know. Like, and David Kim himself is not a great player. He's just a good player. So
Okay, so
I don't know.
day 9 is
I
not
think
good enough.
actually day 9 would be good enough because he was like a top pro gamer in Broodworld. Now
Yeah.
he's a full-time caster and is kind of lost like his insight he had, but he's capable of having sick insight if he just works on it. So day 9 would actually be like a great choice for balance. But I guess it's too expensive, so that's what happened.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Jarno, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it's tough. I mean, David Kim doesn't have an easy job for sure, you know. And I mean, he recently didn't they have like a meeting over at recently? I saw that
Yeah.
picture with like White Raw and Straylock and all those guys,
He
right?
said things that I don't know. They're kind of depressing.
Oh,
But
really?
let's not talk about this.
Oh, I thought it was
I
more about.
I flamed him already in another
Yeah.
interview. Let's,
Yeah. No
let's
problem.
not do it again.
No problem. No problem. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? Come on, call in, guys. I know. I know Artanis definitely could call in if you wanted to. Let's see. I have a question for you too. You know that whole talk about the SCVs, the miners, and how they, you know, there's that little trick or whatever where they slow down before.
Oh, yeah.
Do you actually exploit that at all or no?
I was using the first mineral trick in the beta. Was it the beta or the retail? I don't remember.
I think it was the beta. Yeah.
Okay. And I was getting so good at it, and then they removed it, and it was like so much work going to waste. So
Mhm.
I think they're going to remove it. I'm not going to practice it or use it at all.
Right. I mean, it's hard to. I mean, you can't like automate that, right? I mean, you have to queue up each SCV each time they mine. Is that right?
It's fine. You can do it.
Oh, really? God, you guys are just too fast, man. Okay, let's see. We got. Do you think it would be a great idea to put the inject? Let's see. Oh, I don't quite understand that. Do you think it would be a great idea to put the inject at 35 to 50 energy and change infestor's speed, 1 block, and 1 deal damage? I don't quite get that question. Well, okay.
Me
Well, as I try to figure that out, we'll let Daniel call in here. Archangel. Daniel, a.k.a. Archangel.
Look at his ID, Weinzerg.
Weinzer?
Seriously.
Hey, Daniel. How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, welcome to Pro Corner. You got a question? Oh, you might want to turn off your stream chat, buddy.
Okay, hi. That's pretty cool. It's my first time.
Awesome.
My first time talking with you guys on stream.
Great. Yeah, thanks for calling
Nice to
in,
talk
man.
with you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you for accept my invite to you.
Yeah, no problem. Do you have a
Okay,
question for
so
us? Yeah.
yeah, I'm playing like 1 month StarCraft 2, and currently I am top gold league and platinum in teams. And let's see, I'm not sure um, what good builds I can made uh, against good terrans. I mean, I almost won some high diamond league player, but it was very hard for me to win him. What do you
What race do you
suggest?
play?
I'm playing Zerg right now. I was playing
Okay.
Protoss, but I changed to Zerg.
Okay. Well, the thing is, Zerg builds are not precise. It's more about scouting and making as many drones as you can. Uh, of course, there's some all-ins, but
Mhm.
I mean, you can find the builds in replays. I don't know exactly the Zerg builds. I just know that I see some things and then I react to them. But I would just suggest you to just download the replays from the Gamescom and watch all the nurture replays, because
Mhm.
right now is the best Zerg. Well, no, Stefano is, but after Stefano is the best Zerg outside Korea. So just download a bunch of replays of nurture and practice a lot the no gas 6 queen build, which is very good. So
Okay, so usually I'm doing like 3 fast hatcheries. Like in correctly 5 minutes, I have 3 hatcheries and
Yep.
going straight for roaches. I like this free gas roaches build, which I saw it on Destiny stream. I like Destiny strategies and stuff, and they explain many things there. Same as Hydra. And from Stefano, I'm not sure if he's the best Zerg out there, because there is
yeah,
Nesty.
it's
There
no
is
outside
Nesty.
Korea, outside
So
Korea.
Yeah, outside of Korea.
But Stefano is better
uh,
than Messi at the moment.
Yeah,
That's no
yeah.
doubt.
really, because I
Yes.
saw a Cass game versus Stefano, versus Nesty, and it was really epic, that game.
Yeah, but Stefano owns Cass all the time. Like
Oh, okay, so yeah, he's
Stefano is
better.
so much better. Yes, yes, no doubt.
Of course,
Mm.
I saw some Stefano streams, and it was like superb. It was very good. No doubt about that. So,
Yeah,
uh,
just what I can suggest you, like Zerg is not a race with like precise build orders. Zerg is all about making as many drones as you can and knowing how to cut corners. So
Mhm.
I would suggest you, if you just want build orders, you can just download some replays, and then they're pretty simple. But what you have to learn is how to defend like the early attacks. So once you know how many drones you can make and when to make units, then you're fine. Then you just need to have a good transition to infestors, fast upgrades, and everything else kind of comes together afterwards.
I see. So, let me explain better my problem. My problem is that I'm getting so much drones and good hatcheries at great timing, but I don't have enough macro in like 10 minutes. And Alf, you should have a lot of units so you can defend the drops or some sort of rush there, anything. Um, so I need to work on my macro progress, because
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
mechanics, like how to send drones to the closest patches, don't have like too many drones in the main, not enough in the natural, like all the small details. Like if you put everything together and get better, like all the small details, then you will notice that at the 10-minute mark you will have way more units than you used
Yeah.
to have. So just practice your mechanics and everything will be fine.
Yeah. I mean, at your current level, I think mechanics are way more important than actually getting the strategy completely right. I mean, as long as you're injecting and spending larva, you can have the wrong units and still probably beat your opponent because you just have so much more stuff than them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
so I have many friends that are currently at master level and one grandmaster. If you know him, ESRs and newbies. Those guys actually helping me
cool.
to um, produce my game better. But they say I can easily just ladder up to Master League, because there are many not good players out there in my league, so I can, like you're saying, if I get the units in time and stuff, I can
Well,
easily
you know,
go
it's
up.
everyone starts from the bottom, and then like all the best players were noobs at the beginning, and then they progressively became better, and they did like every step. If some like imagine the best player in the world in 4 years starts playing now StarCraft 2, he will start from bronze, and he will do every league, and he will just get better. So it's just normal. You just have to play, practice, and eventually you will get to Master League. So
Right, right.
as long as you are consistent and do it like every day, every two, or well, just don't stop playing for a long time, then it's fine. Just keep
Right.
improving every
Yeah, I
day,
see.
and
Right.
Of course, thank you, but as you can see, no one can blame me. I'm just playing 1 month in StarCraft. Seems like I started playing late because there is Earth of the Swarm coming, and
It's okay. You can catch
um,
up to everybody in Heart of the Swarm because everybody has to start over in Heart of the Swarm. So
yeah.
yeah, I saw this gameplay trailer and stuff. It was crazy, man.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
every race is just so powerful. Like, wow. I saw the full game in Heart of Storm, and it was very crazy. It was
Okay,
crazy.
let's
All right,
have
Daniel.
another.
Yeah, we gotta move on to another caller. But thanks for calling in, buddy.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you
See
guys.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
Have a
you.
good night.
Thanks.
See ya.
Oops. All right. Let's see, Michael. Michael, you're gonna have to add me on contacts first. Jim, all right, Jim's up next.
What's up?
Hey, Jim. What's
Yeah,
up?
Alright, cool. I got several questions. As a Terran player, right now I'm like borderline between Diamond and Masters, and basically the hardest matchup for me right now is Zerg. And what's hard about it is basically the tech switch, the Brewlords and the Ultralisk. How do you exactly deal with that?
It's really hard. When they get Broodlords at first and they don't have many infestors, the plan is to run around, avoid the infestors with the Marines, and try to kill structures and prevent like too many expansions. But then when it comes to the main fight, you need Ravens and Vikings, because without Ravens you're not going to kill the Corruptors. So you need like 4 to 6 Ravens and just throw the bombs to the Corruptors so they all die, and then your Vikings can work on the Broodlords, and then like your army can win. But without Ravens it's really hard. Like if you just
Okay.
rely on your army and A move and like no Ravens, there's no way you're going to win, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, that's all I really needed to know. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Jim. All right, Hans. We'll take a few more guys. And guys, I'll call you. Nice, nice husky. You don't have to call me. I'll call you. Sounds so bad. Okay, I guess Hans isn't here. So see ya, Hans. Lex. Got lots of callers today. Carlo bringing the crew out.
Higher
Hey there.
Hey, what's up, Lex?
Not much. What is up there?
Not too much.
And I want to ask Cloud, why are you so handsome?
I didn't ask for these powers.
With power comes responsibility, man.
I've noticed that a player on Korea called Sting has used mech in TvP, and I was wondering if you saw those games in TSL and if you think that mech in TvP could be viable sometime.
Actually, it's not the first one. The first one was Ghost King Prime. I think in GSL maybe. And I was impressed. I tried it. And it was my secret weapon, and now I just told it.
Why does it work again? Because I know that Goody played mech in TvP a long time, and then he decided not to do it anymore because it wasn't viable. And I was wondering,
The
like,
thing is, it's different. Now it's you get only 2 factories for tanks, and you are very Hellion heavy, and you like are very aggressive, like with harassment and everything, map control, like all the things Goody is not good with. So, like it's more like very dynamic mech play, and then you have to get that perfect engagement at the right time and be very quick and like focus perfectly everything, EMP at the right time, It requires a lot of skill, but it can work, and I love it. I tried it. It works. It's just very hard to play.
And speaking of Goody, I know that you finally managed to beat him in the best of 3, and wonder if you could tell the story about the best of 3, because I missed it.
You missed it?
Yeah, I did. I feel very bad for missing the magic moment, but
It's not a tale that can be told. You can just taste it once. But I will play Goody in a best of 5 in APS in a week, so
oh dear.
I hope you're looking forward to that. Maybe
Oh,
you can
yes,
repeat the miracle.
This guy's our Tannis, by the way, if you guys don't know. All right, buddy. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, see you. Good night.
All right, let's try Hans one more time. He said he was having some issues here. Hans with the husky icon there. Hey, Hans, you there?
Hello?
Hey. Oh, turn off your stream.
Hello?
Yeah, mute your stream.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I just did it. Yeah. Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going alright. So I just wanted your perspective on, because I watched IM and I was really into Cass's way of transitioning into late game with the Ravens and stuff, using a lot of Thors, as well as MVP, the way he basically utilized mech to get to the late game army that can beat tech switches from Sergei. I just wanted Cloud's opinion on the new styles we're seeing from Terran.
It's not really new. I mean, it was used before. It's just like the Korean Terrans were playing very aggressive, so the foreign players were more like trying this, but it didn't work too well because it took a bit more practice. So the only player who actually did this correctly before now was Torzane, and he was doing this a long time ago, like several months ago. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. You just need to know like the timings, the positioning, what to focus, what to target, when to make the units. It's very complex, while Zerg just needs to build up infestors and broodlords, and so that's why it took a longer time for Terran to figure out like how to counter the Zerg late game without ghosts.
Do you think it's gonna be standard?
It's gonna be one of the standard things. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of Thors, and I can still comfortably win late game.
I can relate.
But yeah, I just don't like slow units. Like I'm a very impatient person. I need action or just get bored. So Thor is not.
That's funny.
But yeah, more players will start using Thors that way. I think so.
Cool.
All right,
Thanks.
Hans. All right, well, time for one more question, guys. Who's the last caller? Is going to be Cobain here. K-pop icon, good choice.
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
How are you guys doing?
Good, good.
So, I'm a GM level Terran player, and I'd like to ask Cloud about Terran Tier 3 specifically. So, obviously, lately Terran players have been experimenting with the use of masses of Ravens and masses of Ghosts in late game to deal with Tier 3 Zerg. So...
Well, Mass Ghost, not really, but Mass Raven, yeah.
I've watched Quirice's stream a bit. He tries using Mass Ghost. It works fairly decently. However, I don't feel like either of them are specifically... Like, they're both reactionary units you go for, I feel. Because, you know, if he goes for Mass Broodlord Corruptor, you try and get up Mass Raven Viking, and, you know, you could use Ghost for other things. But I feel like Terran late game, the problem is it doesn't have a goal that you're trying to get to. Do you feel that way? I feel like Terran needs a certain tier 3 unit that can go head to head with other tier 3, because right now we're more receiving attacks and trying to counter. At least that's how I see.
No, actually, that unit is the Thor. Like, Thor is fairly decent against everything, except Lynx. But Lynx in late game are horrible. So, thing is, like, you can have like a decent amount of Thors and still be fine against both Broodlords and Ultras. But you know, the thing is, you can scan as Terran, so it's not like you need like an army that beats everything. You just need an army that beats what the Zerg is doing. And as long as you keep in check what it's doing, then like everything is perfect. And that's what it makes it hard. Like if there was a unit like the Broodlord that's good against everything, then I think Terran would be a bit boring. But like this, it's a lot more dynamic, and Zerg is forced to switch tech, and like it's a lot about scouting and micro. And also I think Raven is good against Ultras too, because when they go Ultras, you can zone the infestors. Like they come at you, and then you can just move forward the Ravens, and when the infestors come, you just bomb them, like and they can't get close to your army. So you can just move your Marauders and kill the Ultras. So I think Raven is pretty good anyway as a tier 3 unit against everything. And Thor is kinda useful against everything.
Because the way that I'm looking at it is Protoss and Zerg have a goal army that they're trying to get to. Broodlords or Zerg's trying to get up to Broodlord, Corruptor, Infestor, and it's something that you have to react to. Whereas Terran doesn't necessarily.
No, you're right. You're perfectly right. Like
Yeah.
Terran has to react to the opponent's army. That's pretty much it. The only way your opponent has to react to your army is if you go mech in TvP or TvT. But in TvZ, it doesn't really apply. You just you just have to keep in check what's going on and like do the right counter. But if you do the right counter, then Terran army is stronger. So it's a lot more dynamic. While the other two races are a bit more static in the Terran matches. That's right.
So, if you did feel like Terran needed another tier 3 unit, what would you think that would be a sufficient tier 3 unit that Terran could tech for? Because I was thinking like the battle cruiser isn't necessarily something you try to get towards as a goal, but if I've always toyed with the idea of what if Yamato Cannon had a small amount of splash, like I think that would change a lot of the mechanics of Terran tier 3 because you would have a goal to get to. Do you think what do you think would be an adequate?
I think you have a point. Like in Brood War, the battle cruiser was like the ultimate unit for Terran.
Yeah.
And battle cruiser in conjunction to mass siege tanks was the strongest army in the game.
Yeah.
So it kind of served the purpose of like the armies that Protoss and Zerg have against Terran right now. But I don't know. I like the game this way. But if I had to change anything, I'd change the battle cruiser. So I don't know how, but they should be able to be more cost efficient against both Vikings and Corruptors, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because right now the Corruptors and Vikings are the real reason the battle cruiser is not used in the pro matches too much.
Because I did hear that in Heart of the Swarm, they're messing with the change that they're increasing the battle cruiser's damage output. I'm not sure by how much, but I thought that might be kind of cool because then battle cruiser might become something you want to tech to.
Yeah, the problem is not the damage output; it's like that it
The
doesn't have
and
range.
speed.
The range is too little.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see what happens. The real problem is that in StarCraft 2 there is this hard counter like air units that just completely own the battle cruiser. So that's the main issue.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, mixing it with some Banshee and Vikings, that Terran air army is still better, I think, than the
deadly.
Yeah. But all right, thanks, buddy.
Okay, no problem.
All right, well, we gotta wrap up the show. Carlo, man, great show. I think as always, I think you're a natural at this talking strategy, and so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, your shows are great. I think you deserve so many more viewers. Yeah, you're doing a great job. Really love it. I really enjoyed my time in this show as well.
All right, thanks, buddy. And Carlo, Cloud, he's going to be on Climbing the Ladder too in a week. So not only will we get to listen to him talk about strategy, we'll get to listen to him talk about the industry and all his great opinions on the industry. We'll get to chat with him and John and Mark about it all. So it'll be a good time in a week. But you have any shout outs you want to do right now?
I want to shout out Naniwa for helping me so much improving and for being a good friend so far. That's yeah, that's pretty much all. I would
Okay.
really like to. I'm grateful to him for helping me improve a lot, especially my mindset later.
Awesome. Yeah, anyway, I need to get Johan on here one day. But yeah, it's let's see. For me, shout outs. Big shout out to Razer, obviously, for sponsoring the show. Big shout out for all you viewers for watching. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, obviously, with just looking at, let's just look at Team Liquid right now. There's a lot, a lot of events going on right now. So, big thanks to that. Big thanks to you guys for that. And we got a big month coming up right now. I haven't really, announced a bunch of the shows yet. I mean, all you can see right now is that I have aTnCloud in a couple weeks. But Monday we'll have probably an up-and-coming show because a lot of folks will be gone at a lot of tournaments, and they don't really get back Monday. So speaking of Johnny Cloud, I'm going to have Johnny Rico on the show, and probably I was going to try to get Xenocider too, who's this 14-year-old Terran that's NA Terran, who's a really, really good player and always does great in the play-ums against the Koreans. So wanted to try to get him on the show too, just to kind of give some exposure to those guys and hopefully introduce them to you guys. And then Thursday, I'll announce Thursday's show. It'll be I'm not sure it'll be a Terran, but kind of had our Terran run here for a while, but hopefully a Protoss. But I'll announce that soon. But in the upcoming months, for those of you just tuned in, I'm going to be doing a lot more fun events. Like we'll have a night where, like I did in the past, where we had viewers come on and they'll get coached by one of the pros. We'll just have like one game where just a random viewer, or maybe some of the subscribers will get coached by one of the, just for a game. One of the great pros that come on this show. We'll arrange that. So just for just something fun for you guys, and of course the giveaways. We can keep doing giveaways every week. So, but yeah, so that's going to be it for this week. The VOD for this show. Actually, I'm going to rebroadcast the show for all the NA folks at 11 tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern, and then after the rebroadcast, I'll post the VOD on YouTube, youtube.com/ChanmanV, and follow Cloud on Twitter at CloudSC2. His Twitch, he streams a lot too. It's twitch.tv/CloudSC2.
aTnCloud.
Oh, aTnCloud, yeah. So yeah, check out his stream too, guys. I mean, he does what he does on the show like every day on his stream, so you can enjoy it every day too. But all right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.